All right. Hope this video finds you well. The intent of this one is not just to make you laugh, but one thing we noticed from our last, many of you guys in your reasoning statements were not doing what I was looking for, and they weren't really explaining the why. So really quick prior to that, at this point, I'm expecting you typed in your question. You have a prediction with an explanation as to why. In your observation section, you have a data table. Make sure you use your rubrics. So you have your title, you have your units. Make sure you have everything on there. And then data analysis. You should have created a graph, of course, labeled appropriately. And then your summary statement right here, you need to make sure that you answer your question and based on your data, show me the trends. Explain that. If you need help on what a good summary statement looks like, look at your last lab. This time you're creating your own. And finally, once you're done with your summary statement, you're fine. You should have been able to copy and paste that into your claim and your evidence. So finally, we're looking at our reasoning here. And one thing that, like I said, we didn't do well was explain the why. So I want to look at this model right here. If this was a particle bouncing around in the syringe, let's say this was one puff of air, okay? Now we've learned that every time it hits the walls of the container, that is simulating our pressure. So if I was to make a noise every time it hit the sides of the box, bing, 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 and if we divided that by the time, we could have our pressure. Now, in your experiment, you had to alter the number of puffs. So if my mouse cue was another puff, in our experiment, we didn't do 2 puffs, but for now, I'm going to model that. And if I record them, I have bing, bing, and then I throw another puff in. Bing, 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 bing. What happened to the pressure? Okay. This is the model that I want you to be able to explain when you're talking about in your reasoning. You should be able to connect how the particles move, how they're hitting the edge of the container, and how that's affecting the pressure. You should tie in why your claim and your evidence, why your evidence relates to this, and you should also be able to explain your data based on this model. Now, of course, we know in real life that there are more than 1 or 2 particles bouncing around per puff. There's actually billions. But for our model, think about it as simply as 1 particle or 1 puff bouncing around the edges of a container. Bing, 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 bing. But once you have more than 1 puff, bing, 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 bing. What does that do to the pressure? Good luck. Make sure they are submitted by 8 p.m. tonight. Again, I don't know how to turn this on.